His house reportedly took over $1 billion to be built. Apart from owning the most popular IPL franchisee, Mumbai Indians, he holds a majority stake and runs one of India's most valuable companies. There is a greater chance that an average Indian may not know the name of the Vice President of the country or the Chief Minister of his state, but will still know Mukesh Ambani, who is the richest man in India. In this video, we take a look at Mukesh Ambani's success story and his journey. We have divided this Mukesh Ambani's success story in 5 parts to cover all successes at different stages of his life, starting from his early life, dropping out from Stanford University, split between the Ambani brothers, to taking Reliance Industries to new height. Part 1. Early life of Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani was born on 19th April 1957 in Yemen. This was because of his late father, an Indian legend, Dhirubhai Ambani, then worked as a petrol station attendant in Yemen. The family soon moved to India, where their standard of living improved as they now lived in a 2 BHK apartment. It was good times from here, as his father successfully set up his business in the textile industry under the brand Vimal. His father soon purchased a 14-story building for the family to live in. Despite this, his father believed that it was best for Mukesh to have a normal childhood. He would use public transport to go to school and never received any allowance. He went on to graduate as a chemical engineer from the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. Part 2. Dropping out. Mukesh went on to pursue his MBA from Stanford. It was at the same time that his father had successfully beaten the Tatas and Birlas to secure a license for PFY, polyester filament yarn manufacturing. His father always believed that the real life skills were harnessed through experience, not by sitting in the classroom. Due to this belief, he asked Mukesh to drop out and join him in setting up the plant. Mukesh played an important role by setting up a plant that was way ahead of its time. This was possible because his father always considered him as a business partner and allowed him to contribute without the experience. He went on to further the Reliance footprint by establishing the world's largest petroleum refinery at Jamnagar, Gujarat. Mukesh, however, did not stop here, as he also set up the telecom arm Reliance Communication. Part 3. Anil vs Mukesh Ambani. To everyone's surprise, Dhirubhai Ambani passed away from a stroke in 2002. This was the second time he has suffered a stroke. The first time in 1986, post which the company was run by brothers Mukesh and Anil. Their father, however, passed away without a will. Soon cracks began to develop in the brothers' relationship, which blew up to become public feud. Their mother decided it was a time for the assets of the company to be split between the two brothers. This was necessary to end the feud. Mukesh received oil and gas, refinery and petrochemical companies in the split, whereas Anil got what was called the Rising Sun companies, electricity, telecom and financial services segment. This was a blow to Mukesh, as Anil received some companies that Mukesh has worked hard to create and which had a higher growth rate. Mukesh couldn't even enter these industries, as the split also came with a non-compete clause. Mukesh, however, saw his opportunity to get rid of the clause post the crisis of 2008. Anil has found himself in trouble, as many of his projects were stuck and required gas at reasonable rates. Mukesh stepped in to supply the gas on the condition that the non-compete clause was annulled. This, however, cannot be mistaken by brotherly love. What ensued soon after was Mukesh playing a hand to ensure that the deal between Anil's Reliance Communication and South Africa's MTN never took place. This deal would have catapulted Reliance Communication to become one of the world's largest mobile companies. Mukesh's quest for telecommunications sector was clearly not for the business purpose alone. After all, Reliance Communication was the company whose creation and early growth was owed to Mukesh. Sadly, he had unjustly lost the company in the split. Mukesh spent the next 5 years pouring the money he earned from the oil and petrochemical business to create a competitive company in the telecommunications sector. This seemed to be a crazy decision at the time, as the telecommunications sector was already dominated by a number of giants competing for every molecule in the industry. Part 4. Mukesh Ambani's Jio is here to take over. Eventually, Mukesh launched with Jio. What followed was Jio offering the lowest prices possible in the industry, making them impossible to compete with. Mukesh's business acumen was clearly visible here. He took advantage of the industry as it had for years benefited from expensive products in return for poor 2G and 3G services. Jio even forced other players now to offer their products at lower margins. The pricing war that followed soon saw Anil Ambani's Reliance Communication was away. However, Anil wasn't the only one affected. Giants like Bharti Airtel soon realized that Jio was here to dominate. In addition, unlike others in the sector, Jio had deep pockets thanks to Reliance petrol business. Vodafone and Idea barely even managed to survive, and their position hasn't improved since. It took the combined efforts of the telecommunications sectors of 25 years to build a 2G network across India. It is noteworthy that Jio managed to do this in just 3 years thanks to Mukesh's drive and successful execution. Part 5. Taking Reliance to New Heights. Mukesh Ambani successfully diversified Reliance into a conglomerate that owns businesses across India engaged in energy, petrochemical, textile, natural resources, retail, and telecommunications. Apart from setting up telecommunication giant Jio, Mukesh Ambani is also slowly venturing into retail and e-commerce industry by partnering with Mark Zuckerberg's WhatsApp. In 2020, Facebook has invested Rs 5.7 billion in Reliance Jio by acquiring 9.99% stake at a pre-money valuation of $65.95 billion. Further, to deepen its roots in retail, Reliance Retail Ventures Limited, a subsidiary of Reliance Industries, also acquired Kishore Biyani's Future Group, which is the parent company of Big Bazaar, in a Rs 24,713 crore deal. Reliance Industries also acquired a majority stake in online pharmacy Netmeds for about Rs 620 crore in the same month. Under Mukesh Ambani's leadership, Reliance became the first Indian company to exceed $100 billion in market capitalization in India. It is currently the most profitable country in India. The company has been responsible for almost 5% of the revenue the Government of India earns from customs and excise duty. The growth also propelled him to become richest man in Asia. His net worth as of 2021 stands at $76.3 billion. Although being India's richest man for several years now, Mukesh never rested on his laurels and still doesn't. It can be seen in his pursuit to turn Reliance into a zero-carbon company. This is despite Reliance Petrochemical being one of its strongest pillars. Ambani is often heard saying data is the new oil. This highlights a shift in his focus towards the tech sector. Brothers reunite. In 2020, Mukesh also stepped up to help his brother Anil, who was now broke upon the request of his mother. It was reported by Bloomberg that Mukesh had made Anil beg to receive his favor. To further salt his wounds, Anil even furthered his humiliation by publicly thanking his rival. Mukesh goes where business takes him. This was clearly seen between 2019-2020 period. He had clearly supported data nationalization in order to curb the outflow of Indian user data to companies like Facebook and Google. This soon turned to cooperation into the two companies when Reliance sold stake to the two in order to become debt-free. Closing thoughts. Mukesh Ambani's success story, for the better or worse, is also India's success story today. This is because the growth of the company today also plays a crucial role in India's growth. What is even more astonishing is that Mukesh has not only managed to make a name for himself, he has also managed to step out of his father's shadow, of which towered the country in the last century. It is a very rare to come across a second generation success story. Most of them end up messing up the wealth left behind by the forefathers. This can easily be seen in Anil Ambani's case. That's all for this video on Mukesh Ambani's success story. Let us know what do you think of Mukesh Ambani's story and who would you like us to cover next. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting business related videos. Thank you.